white man has to carve a love the black man. But I was invited to address the first Congress of the Council of African
Bring me in, Sister Comrade. Bring me in. Bring me in.
4-day Congress.
Somebody here, Sister Comrade Daphne on Facebook. Tell her bring me in. Bring me on in on the blog talk.
And bring the delegates from the various African organizations that are situated on the European continent up to date in regards to the struggle of the black
Mother Comrade, yeah, Mother Comrade, hang up on me on that phone. Somebody let Sister Comrade know that's me on this other phone calling in. I don't even know the number. I look forward to the day we got technology, all that set up. We're gonna be man, it's rapid pace. I'm on another phone. That's Sister Comrade Desmond. I'm calling from another phone. Fremont, get me in, Sister Comrade. Am I live and direct? Am I live and direct? Oh my God, you can't make this up.
Done.
This. Oh man, can't make this up. Well, we got a studio just set up. A traveling studio is what I need.
Yeah.
A traveling studio. Press the button. Yeah, can't make this up. Oh, y'all bear with us as we say cub with us. Okay, that phone died. What was we at again? Yeah. Okay. Let me check. Okay. Mother Comrade, call me. Okay, y'all gonna have to bear with us. Y'all gonna be okay. We gotta work with. Mother Comrade, call me back on that phone. Yeah. Call me back on that landline.
You all set in the bathroom? Yeah. I just want to talk.
Y'all bear with us as we say cub with us. Call me back. On the Comrade, I need you to call me back on that landline.
That's too low.
Yeah, just start it over again. Don't charge fast if you cut it off. I'm gonna just charge anyway in a minute for mine. Don't even worry about it. We just gotta do it. Okay, yeah. The Mother Comrade, I need you to call me back on this. No. I need you to call me back on that landline, that number. I can't press one. The other phone is dead. I can't press anything. I'm not connected. I need someone to call me. I can't to call me on his phone. Someone said this is what your dad's movement has turned into. Dig that. Bless you. It's a saying they have in Chicago. They say if you have no idea, say bless your heart. Bless your heart. Bless your heart. I won't even validate that with a response. Yeah, bless your heart. Y'all bet. Yes, Fremont. Okay, thank you. Fremont. Free them all. All right.
What do you think, Con? Who's if I go home and come back for a couple hours?
Free them all. Welcome to Free them all radio. Okay, y'all. What we have to do is y'all have to bear with us as we say, "Cub with us." May 17th, 2023. We are live and direct. We are live and direct. Okay, those on Facebook, as well as here on StreamYard and Instagram, you have to bear with me. You can hear. You're not going to be the other conversation. I'm not on speakerphone, and you have to be on the move on a pivot. And we have some internet problems, so on and so forth. But let me preface with this. Let me preface with this. Well, first let me get the opening, the official opening. Welcome to Free 'em All Radio, weekly program of Black Panther Party Cubs. I'm honored and humbled to be here with you. Again, for those who are just tapping in, there's information that the one side of the conversation you're not going to be able to hear because we don't have a phone with a speakerphone on it. And I just said a minute ago, I look forward to today, ideally, the Hampton House, we're going to have the studio set up, as well as a carry-around studio, to press the button and move. Someone commented, it could be the state directly or just or it could be someone that's simply naive. Some comment about this is what your dad's movement has turned into. I'm careful with the responses I give energy to, but I want to use this as opportunity to politicize certain, to use for political education. I'm continuously learning about how many people actually do not know what the Black Panther Party was, who Chairman Fred was, let alone the Black Panther Party Cubs and the work we do today. I use terms like we have to move on a pivot, a political pivot. A lot of people are used to the quote-unquote 9-to-5 setup or state-sanctioned organization or GMOs, government-made organizations. You know what I'm saying? Where resources are allotted to them. They spend more time, and they have they spend more time, documenting the stuff that they claim to do. But we are actually, one of the setbacks are actually being out there in the field, actually organizing, actually, coalition building, touching down, again, we're fortunate that right now, with the indigenous community, touch down in our ongoing with the present day Rainbow Coalition. Again, the present day Rainbow Coalition. Chinook Force's birthday is coming up in a couple of days, and we seized the time, we tied this in. We welcome to this phenomenal event today. And I got a little bit on my social media, but my phone died. And the deal is we spend more time working, organizing, than being able to set up, nice YouTube stations, so on and so forth. A lot of people, it's a foreign language to people to explain to them about the work that we do. I had a phenomenal discussion with Mike Africa Jr. the other day. We'll talk about that also. Mike Africa Jr., the Move family. And we was discussing something, and I was saying something, we have to come to grips with a lot of people. Some people are incapable. It's not saying that you're dumb or whatever, incapable of relating or understanding some of the dynamics and consciousness we have to deal with. So like just even this, it seems simplistic. Just set up someone just said this was your dad's movement is turned to negating the fact that there wasn't even no social media during the era, Chairman Fred and the Black Panther Party. And these I in particular need to be able to grasp the reality that some people are incapable of understanding certain things, because sometimes as organizers we think we can save the world, we think we can just pour information to people, they can grasp it. But I use the analogy like a woman trying to explain to a man about child labor. And the deal is, no matter what she explains to us, we are incapable of relating and understanding. As a revolutionary, living out a suitcase, moving on the pivot, jumping up, being that, serve the needs, basic needs and desires of the people. A lot of people are incapable of that, what you do, it's similar to what they say with a man with a woman with child labor, say, okay, I don't understand what you're talking, I can't relate to it, I'll respect it. You say, help rub your leg or whatever, I respect it. And that's what we working on getting to the point to in regards to the work. Some people again they'll pop in and they see the outer layers of certain dynamics, see certain media coverage, and just even us getting. And I really wanted to show the process we we're going through, the difficulties about setting up the show right now. And many people have seen previous shows where I'm coming through the airport. We've did shows directly from inside the jail, out the country. And one of the things that we pride ourselves, the Black Panther Party Cubs, is serving hot information. We serve hot information, we serve hot politics. In other words, a lot of people want to give you the edited version, wait till things are clean. We want, as Malcolm X has stated, even our mistakes belong to us. Again, even our mistakes belong to us. We want to, just Chairman Fred said, if I make a mistake, I want so that we can correct it. We're going to be out there for the people. And Chairman Fred said, a lot of organizations, they're like groundhogs. They underground, they quote unquote moving around. But we want to be out there for the people. I want you to see the inner workings of the different dynamics, the sweat, and the contradiction that go along with how we're going to go above and beyond to serve the people, to show, we don't have the best technology, but right there, and information that's relevant right now as we speak. Again, today, for example, this event, that many people from the naked eye might say, oh, that's nice, you're having a clan bank or what have you. Some people look at the sweat lodge, some situations, ceremony, people say, oh, that's nice to go on the sweat. But the uniqueness on how we did the politics of it, the relationships that we build, the dynamics, how we come is real, is how we confront and grapple with the race contradiction, the class contradiction. Being on Standard Rock, you can literally see the tear gas, talk about the case that comrades had caught, seeing some of the trial transcripts, how the state had pointed out how the Black Panther Party Cubs, and they touched down with the indigenous community. All these are particulars that we would like to seize the time to invite you into our office. And our office is the streets. To invite to give you not a bird's eye view, but a people's view of the inside, of the inner workings of a revolutionary organization. And again, this is a dynamic that that many people that we want to having access to technology. We want to seize the time that you can see, right, that you can look back and say, man, I understand why. I had the opportunity to be close up on it to see the Wi-Fi messing up, or being messed up, or being messed up, because even so you have a different appreciations for that home cooked meal, that burger that's made at the house, the hot grease popping, as opposed to going to McDonald's getting you a fast food burger. Seeing the different dynamics of so-called organizers, who the state gives you, they put up their posters, commercials for them. You come in, everything is crinkled, no wrinkles, so on and so forth. But to see that, that dynamic of organization on the ground up, and even the mistakes belong to us. As Kendrick Lamar said in one of his songs, even with the one with the stretch marks that comes, he wants that beauty in the scars and the bars. So with that being said, welcome to another episode of Freedom on Radio. And as I commented to a comment on Instagram earlier that said that comment, I said it's a saying we have in Chicago, and people either they don't know, in most cases they don't know. We say bless your heart, bless your heart. So again, live and on Freedom on Radio. So again, those who on Facebook and also on StreamYard, you're not able to hear the phone, but we want to up your political muscle. We want to tighten up your political muscle that you can be able to use dialectical materialism. There'll be situations where you can't hear everything, so you want to be able to get use dialectical materialism. And say, okay, if this is being said, what's being what is the question? So again, with that being said, let's make history. Let's take history. Let's take history. This is coming. Let me know if you have any callers in queue on Freedom on Radio. 929-477. 929-477-37. 929-477-3749, I believe is and press 1. And I'm not crying the blues, 3785, excuse me, 929-477-3785. And people say, a lot of times people come, Chad, we need to get this person to help you do this, And a lot of people talk about these different dynamics, but I'm, and it sounds easy, people get involved and do the work, so on and so forth. Marcus Garvey said, the road to freedom is seldom traveled by the multitude. Road to freedom is seldom traveled by the multitude. This isn't a popular thing, so on and so forth. But again, we take pride in it, even if it's not popular. But so today's subject matter, y'all, we talking about what just happened on May 13th on Osage Avenue. We talking about upcoming Friday. What's happening May 19th? at the Hampton House, we're having a MalcolmX listening party. A MalcolmX listening party. You know what I'm saying? I think we'll start at 2 o'clock p.m. The flyers are forthcoming. We're talking, you know what I'm saying, the other programs, Black Panther Party Cubs. So feel free to call in a cub in with us, y'all. What's the call? Free them all. Yes, indeed. Any callers in queue? And Facebook is stream. Put your question. Welcome to Free them all radio. Welcome, 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 Gloria Montague. Right on. Welcome. That name sounds familiar. Bring us up to speed. And forgive us again. We don't. Some of the people. I'm going to be repeating. Okay, I'm going to be repeating some of the things that you say, so our other audience, listener audience, they can hear. Okay, bear with us. Okay, so so some of the things you're going to say, I'm going to repeat it again, so our viewing audience on StreamYard they can hear. Well, the sister who runs the boards for us, she will let us. My sister comrade, she'll give us a heads up if there's any callers, other callers in queue. But you know, we kind of move on what we call a political pivot. So feel free, you know, what I'm saying, you know, give us, give us the information you have, and you know, what needs to happen. So we're not rushing you, but we might have other callers may call in. Let me stop you right there, my sister. Let me jump in with you. Your name is Gloria Montague. You calling in for Gloria Montague. You calling in for your brother, Roman Montague, who's been locked up who's been incarcerated, held captive for 35 years. Okay, we live with his sister right now. 39 years. Excuse me, 39 years. Do you happen to have his name? Let me spell his name. Do you have his ID number close? Oh, right on. You know about heart. ROM. And people who someone feel free to jump in with us. You may want to type this in for me on the StreamYard, or type this in also on the Facebook. So this is and just give my slug back in on that comment earlier. This is what the chairman's movement has come to. We are continuously organizing, pens and papers, Facebook or no Facebook. If it comes down to it, we'll use 2 tin cans and a string to serve the people. That's how we do, and it's just serving the people. Roman, ROMAN. Is that correct, sister? Is that correct? RAMON. First name, last name MON. RAMON His prison number is NN dash 62212. That's Roman Montague, locked up 39 years. So that's his ID number. He's presently held in what prison, what concentration camp, where is he presently being held at? Joliet, Illinois. And I think that zip code is 601. Give me that zip code if you can. I think I know that by heart too. I was there a few years. Is it 6? What is it? What is the zip code? Well, you look for the zip code while you talking to me about this case. And I'm gonna be jumping and repeating some of the stuff you're telling us about him, and with the status his case is in. But I know he's in Joliet, Illinois. That information is relevant. And I stop sometime because I'm losing my Wi-Fi is in and out. Okay, give me 2 seconds. Let my other audience on Facebook tap back in with me. We'll have some Wi-Fi issues. His Hebrew name is what? What is his Hebrew name? Ben Kayel. That's his Hebrew name. Benkhayal. YIL. Excuse me. Yes. Now, some people may say, why don't? Some people may take the position, why don't we wait to do the show or cancel the show until we get the technology correct, everything set up, and moving, and you know what I'm saying. Some people can afford that luxury. We are cut from a cloth. We are cut from the cloth that we can afford the luxury. This brother here has been locked up 39 years. As Field Marshal George Jackson has stated, that in particular in the prisons, there are no guaranteed tomorrows. We're gonna take the bumps in the road. We got to get somewhere. We have to, as what Chairman Fred said, move fast and move organized. We're gonna use some technical glitches we're gonna deal with. I had to be here today in Massachusetts today. I could say, well, why don't you cancel Wednesday's show? We cannot afford that luxury. We're gonna move. We're gonna see the technical difficulties. We're gonna have this show is gonna continue. The beat is gonna go on. So, what's happening with Ramon Montague, his case, and how can people support getting the word out? He graduated October 2022. How is that possible since he been locked up 39 years? Um, she's okay. He's graduated. He graduated October 14th, 2020. Oh, what did I do? Help me in this technology. Let me get. Oh, I can't touch. 1 second. Help me out. So I did something wrong. Okay, 1 second. Get back to this up here. What this thing here? How do I was asking the question, how is it possible? Make it go back. Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah, how do you do that? Okay, right on.
Like it's just zoom and shit
Okay,
like that.
yeah, perfect.
Cool.
I was asking the question. She was okay. Sister Gloria was telling that her brother who's been locked up 39 years, just graduated October 14, 2022. I was questioning how was that possible since he's been locked up 39 years. I'm saying to point out the fact that so even while held captive, even those conditions, difficulties up to do the lockdowns, the cell searches, the arbitrary rules that come in prison. That one day they may say you only can have 5 books. You limit it to 2 books. You limit it to 3 books. You're given these boxes now. They issued these boxes in I think late 1990s, and these boxes would say how many books you can have inside your box. You're subjected to psychological torture. You know what I'm saying? Shakedowns in the morning. You never know when you can you have enough light to read. I recall myself being locked up. I recall putting sitting by the crack of the door in prison. You know, and using light from the prison gallery to be able to read. This is something to add. The fact that this brother has gained a degree under these circumstances. These are intense contested conditions. That's why I asked her how did he graduate in October 22. Is the again the lockdowns, the demoralizing searches. All this goes into we're talking about this to give the character of who we're talking about. I think that's important. A lot of times we see about different cases, and individuals are regulated to a number or just a just a face. But I think this is again to the humanity of the individual that we're talking about. So we're giving some background about the degree that he's got in his school, so on and so forth. Okay, go continue, please. He has plans upon the release for organization Ben Rafar to reach back to the community when he gets out. So these are some of the things that he's talking about, helping others when he get out. So it's not he's focusing on the youth in particular. Has he been influential with youth? I mean, we know the number of youth that's coming in particular. Excuse me, the youth that are being brought in particular, inside those prisons. What has he been impactful with? Talking to these young brothers. Has yes, indeed. So has he been impactful with the youth that are being brought inside the prisons now? Yes. Let them know I commend them for you listen to a number of things. I commend them with that in general, but in Pacific, an issue. In fact, I just coming out, this recent inauguration for the President Mayor of Chicago, Mayor Johnson. I make a comment just to hear the term mental health, acknowledging that issue, mental health. And he said that a lot of mental health facilities, they plan to open the mental health facilities. I drew in contrast to the Mayor Rahm Emanuel's administration when he got brought in. When he was brought in, one of his first edicts was to shut down the mental health facilities in the black community. And a lot of times we get emotional or reactionary with our people just look at crime as a bad people versus good people. But that your brother and those with him acknowledge that the importance of it, talking about dealing with the mental health issue is there. One, the empathy is still left for our people because a lot of times you could be so cold, you just can have a reactionary assessment like, well, they're just bad people. But two, I was going to say the connection to the community also. But now that we have this discussion, I could imagine how closer up that they are seeing this contradiction inside the prisons. In other words, like I think Malcolm X said, America itself represents prison, and Minister U.E.P. Newton said prison is a microcosm of the outside community. We think it's bad. I hear what this mental health contradiction is. I'm saying and imagine those brothers and sisters who are locked up. In many cases, our community, we don't have the luxury to be to go sit on the couch and talk to Dr. Phil or psychiatrist. Our therapy has to be the closest liquor store or the crack house, or the prison doors. And you'll be fortunate to find some solace or some way to communicate this. So, but these brothers acknowledging that, I just want to commend them that. Commend them with that because again, in prison, in particular, things move so fast. Excuse me, they don't move fast enough for getting up out of there. But it's so regulated. You have a lot of times you have elementary or reactionary definitions of manhood, womanhood, childhood, crime. And you don't even have the luxury to go say, is this person crazy? So I hate to use that word also, because that word has been so sabotaged, so convoluted, so messed up. But this person, you can't even think about it because your survival may depend on it. So that shows a person with empathy that even go that far and say even addressing that issue of mental health. So I just want to point that out. But please proceed. Speak on that if you can, sister. You mentioned that he was raised by a single mother and 3 sisters. You said, right? Correct. All female household. due to what's okay, please, okay, why you say that's a okay, okay, I'm gonna slow down. Okay, why would that be? You said it's a downfall. Why would that be a barrier? Why would a setback for black male child? Why would that be a setback? That's out of curiosity. In order for a black boy to be a black man, he has to see a black man in the household. What do you say to those who can, in order to be a man? What is your position about some people who say, well, he has to have a role model? What is your thought? What is your position in regards? Okay, well, some people may say, well, the woman can be the mother and the father. What's your thoughts on that? No, the mother can't be the father. In order for forgive me for repeating you. I wish this was on speakerphone. In order for a black, this sister is on. Her brother has been locked up 39 years, and we're talking. We're not having a reactionary discussion. We're talking about the where he's at now, the contested conditions, who he is, where he come from. She's giving us a historical analysis. She's talking about the difficulties. She say him growing up as a black male child in a household with 3 sisters and a mother, single mother. The difficulties in that puts him in a deficit about him. She's breaking down how this is a black woman I'm speaking with, and you're saying that the need for that role model. Yes. In order to be a man, you have to see one. In order to be a man, you have to see one. Yes. 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 I appreciate so much how you put you put this in what we refer to as in an objective context. Mother had to work. Mother had to work, and these are realities. Yes. Yes. This discussion. Yes. Yes. I seen something the other day, and it was on social media on Instagram, and I was commenting about. I seen it in flash past, and it was mind blowing. It was a case. Some sister was on Instagram when she was speaking, and she had drew this analogy to the state, the system, with benefits and welfare, so on and so forth. And let me preface with this: by no means do we indict anyone from our community. You know what I'm saying? General assistance, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So be it. None of these. Believe me, I can't. We don't know how many people had to subside or even survive. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The welfare, the cheat, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? But the deal, she pointed out the strategy of the state and how they viewed it, their tactics. What she say, many cases the state would see that they giving out a lot of resources to some women, and they would take a position like, okay, well, I don't need this dude, and this, you know, what I'm saying, in fact, this is, I got the money, you know what I'm saying, I don't need this dude around here, and the government can see it's like, okay, I took care, you know what I'm saying, not just like some people they say like, whoever feeds you, you know what I'm saying, sets the tone with you, so on and so forth. And it's in the government's in a certain period, like, okay, time to return my son home to prison. Time to bring my child back. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people say they don't believe that, but you look at certain, I was looking at some commentaries, and this is more common than people think. Gabrielle Union was saying that in her the relationship she be in, she subscribes, she believes that whoever brings the money in, the most of the money, that's who makes the rules. Monique, the comedian Monique, said this thing also. You know what I'm saying? And some people, like a lot of people in certain communities, they subscribe or come from a position of that. You know what I'm saying? The money make the leadership. You know what I'm saying? Like even a lot of these like in the streets, whoever came in with the money. And I would look at certain periods, certain locations. I would say, whoa, this guy or this person was respected. You know what I'm saying? In the music industry now. It's where the money makes it, as opposed to I grew up seeing where men, and I'm gonna say men and women made money that make men and women, but the deal is with that mindset, if people subscribe to that, because it's particularly who I am, I have to be extra cautious. I tell people, I say, because see, I can never out resource the system. You know what I'm saying? None of us can. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, they're in control. They print the money. And if I'm dealing with somebody, whether it be, I have to be able to distinguish a soldier from a mercenary. A soldier is with you, loyalty, as opposed to a mercenary. Those who getting paid, and so on and so forth. And that's in any capacity. I really can't afford that luxury. And you look at wars, certain countries they employ a mercenary, and when you're in a certain power base, you can do it. Like even America, they call it Blackwater, different mercenary forces they bring in different times. But that analogy that the lady gave was phenomenal. You know, about the whole thing about the government, how they view even the children, because like some people can't distinguish the money and say they can't, as Frantz Fanon said, accept the concessions never compromise our principles. Their position is who's ever bringing the money in. That's your who is that, Mama? That's Uncle Charlie. He paying the bills. That's your daddy. Who is that? That's Mr. Bill. Who is that? He bringing Big Macs over there. That's your daddy. Well, who is that? This who that link up? The U.S. government. Who that cheese? The U.S. government. Well, that's your daddy. You know what I'm saying? And an alliance becomes embedded in the DNA. You know what I'm saying? And the food. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people can't eat Chinese food without, relating to it. You know, so to be clear who you are. You don't have no identity. I tell people, I'm very clear that there's a difference between those who are enslaved and those that were slaves. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference. I said the Black Panther Party, there was those who were Black Panthers and there was those that were in the Black Panther Party. You know what I'm saying? Different dynamic. And so in our communities when it's colonized, they can the mindset. You can have people that they may look a certain way. They may have the last name of Jones, what have you. But who does their mind belong to? And this system, the biggest pimp, the biggest exploiter, the exploiter. You know what I'm saying? And in the movie Gold in the Majesty, the trick is having the minds. You know what I'm saying? And the deal is the minds are so many. You'll be surprised how many people's minds belong to the machine. That was a consent. The man had to leave. He had to be put out. You know what I'm saying? In order to, and you would think, it's a movie called Claudine. Phenomenal movie. James Earl Jones and Diane Carroll. So recommend y'all watch that movie called Claudine. And once you do it, and a lot of times people have a reactionary assessment. They just automatically think that grandmama was there. And there are generations that went for 4 or 5 generations. That like no man. In fact, got the guy's name who's with Jill Scott. They in the project, but it was a guy that was married to Jill Scott, the performer Jill Scott. He said it blew his mind. He said there were generations with her. He said not a black man in sight. Generations, and it becomes so normalized in our community. It becomes the norm. And when you know what I'm saying, and then you stop back and say, wait, look at this here. You know what I'm saying? How, you know, and the psychic, you know, and because we able to physically, your person may physically look well, they walk in, so, but you know what I'm saying? And certain things may rest dormant for a certain period of time. And with all they gotta do is turn the heat up a little bit, and you can see the either the disdain or the inability to even communicate. And it only affects the young girls, you know what I'm saying, the young boys, the community in general. I remember talking to what's the brother name who actually did Good Times? What's my brother name? No. The one who actually wrote Good Times. Brother went through a lot of struggles. We had a lot of conversations too. Phenomenal brother. He talks about the issues how Norman Lear ripped him off, and you know what I'm saying. He was homeless, everything. What's his brother's name? Somebody help me out, audience. The brother who actually wrote Good Times. He did Coolie High. He did Good Times. He did What's Happening. Oh, this brother's phenomenal. They come to me. I'm seeing him right now. He the one who actually done it. And I remember commenting that had they got rid of him in the earlier, and the way that Norman Lynn was going to try, because you know how they talk about how they got rid of James Amos, who played James Evans, and they kept on pushing. They were going in a direction when they got through. The house was going to be a crack house. Darren was going to be out there on the stroll. Mike would be emasculated. What's that dude named, the Hustler dude? Who? Eric Monte. My man. That was my man. A genius. Eric Monte. Phenomenal dude. Eric, that's who actually did Good Times, Coolie High, What's Happening, some other. Eric Monte. And you know what I'm saying? And you get a chance, go on YouTube and watch the battles he went through. The battles. You know what I'm saying? And speaking, and like James Amos, yes, please do. But go ahead, I'm gonna give me some. Go ahead. Make sure. I want people to know. I'm giving out Ramon's right information. I want people to know the clemency hearing. The clemency thing is still. We tying all this. All this is related. You may say, what does got to do with Malcolm X? All this is related. All this is. The clemency position is on his desk, on the governor's desk. Oh, okay. Well, initial stuff we can do, y'all. We can commit to leaving out here now. At least if you have any questions, we can let's wait the Facebook come back on. Wait 1 second, it's gonna come back on to Wi-Fi. Press one. And we want everyone, okay, we expect him to, he gonna call in. We want to call in Governor Pritzker's office. I don't have someone can be helpful and put that number up. And we want to ask, what's the status? We want the people. We want our listeners. Yes, we want our listeners. We want our listeners. We want you. We want everyone to call the right. You know what I'm saying? Call Governor Pritzker's office. We need people to be consistent with this. We can put that the governor's. I'm repeating this to our listeners, y'all. Okay, we need the case of Ramon Montague, who has been locked up, held captive for 39 years, even under contested conditions. Then got degrees. You know, so we talking about his background. We talking about the growing up. You know what I'm saying? And we talking about his plans. We talking about his plans. We plan on doing. We talking about, we want to tie this in, the people talking about the overcrowding in the prisons. We talking about, you know what I'm saying, okay, if it's overcrowded, you got people just talking about, that's coming out and talking about doing being an asset to the community. We want to, okay, the question to Governor Pritzker's office is why Ramon Montague, prison number N-62212, presently being held in Joliet. What is the holdup? Why is his clemency hearing simply sitting on the desk? Been locked up 39 years. People talking about coming out with some ideas to help, you know what I'm saying? And whatever side of the political spectrum you reside on, no one can say they can afford to say, well, we don't need no help out here on these streets. No one can say that. No one can say that. Yes. Yes. They're making a massive presence, China's making a massive presence in Africa, throughout the world. We live and direct on Freedom on Radio. So the comrade, look for any callers, in particular a prison call, and they have to press 1. They have to press 1 before they get in. You'll be brought in right in. Yes. 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 Yeah. Yeah. So the comrade, I'm asking my comrade who do the boards. Are any callers in queue? You see any callers in queue? Okay. Yeah. Yes. So you tell okay. So what you saying to the comrade next week 7:15? You saying? Yeah. Yeah. So tell them to call 7:15, and I make sure 7:15. Yes. Beautiful. Yeah, we can get on that. We can get on that, listeners. We can get on that ASAP. We can start our day of tomorrow with a hot cup of coffee and a phone call. We can do, you know what I'm saying? We can start on that tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Wake up in the morning, you know what I'm saying? Get our shot, get our coffee, whatever we do. You know what I'm saying? And just, you know, with our cell phones, whatever, we can hit the governor's office. They may direct it to a certain area department that handles that, but whoever we got to talk to, whether it be the janitor, the secretary, whoever the case may be, we want to, we call it concern regards to this question of Ramon Montague, you know what I'm saying, prison number N-62212, which they went through all the paperwork, filed the clemency. He's went above and beyond, you know, so you talking about, I mean, the degrees, everything. What's the status of it? Why is that clemency, you know, so it's not been addressed? And it's a few more cases. Tyrone Petty, we're going to push on these cases, y'all, because these individuals are not getting any younger. Again, when you talk about prison, also, let me say this about prison. You know, like, you know, you talk about, like, you hear people say like, well, how old is your dog? So, what dog is 7 years in dog years. You said, what do you mean? They said, no, you have to put that in different time period. Dog years are different than human period. Prison, one day is different than the one day out here in the streets. It's prison time. It's like you may say, well, they're doing okay. No, it's a different dynamic. It's a different dynamic. I'm talking about just if you want to start from the sort of quote unquote diet that you're subject to, the starch, everything. So that alone, you know what I'm saying, it's chopping up, you know what I'm saying, your potential lifespan. We're not the odds of I'm talking about the water, you know what I'm saying, Stateville, this Comrade Daphne was having this conversation earlier, you know what I'm saying, regards to her son. That, you know what I'm saying, that we talking about, people say, what do you mean? The EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, they acknowledge that the water is the state is supposed to be closed down, you know what I'm saying? And it's not people say, well, let's do a study, you know what I'm saying? There's no study necessary. This is acknowledged. So we have to move. It's what Chairman Fred said, you have to move fast and move organized. There's no, you know what I'm saying, again, Phil Marshall George Johnson, there's no guarantee tomorrow. So we need to get on top of these calls yesterday. But you know what I'm saying, when people say, well, the governor's office is closed right now today, so on and so forth. But I mean, actually, I would have an issue with calling tonight. And if it's a voicemail left on that, let the voicemail get filled up. And again, continue, you know what I'm saying, first thing in the morning. Okay, my sister. Okay. So you make sure. Yes. Right on. It's ironic that I was just commenting about like I had the fortune my first time in Africa, and I unintentionally ended up at a wedding ceremony, and I remember at the wedding ceremony it was interesting. I watched certain dynamics like on one side the groom, his family, on the other side the bride's family, and they was sitting there. Excuse me. And it was interesting seeing, they actually families, you know what I'm saying, like two different, I'm not talking about like the 4 or 5 people, I'm talking about their family was on each side. And so you're seeing all the dynamics, each side is seeing each other, and I watched that. And because the deal is like, you come into a family, you're not just coming, so a lot of times we just see the individual, you know what I'm saying, and you don't know who you're dealing with, you know what I'm saying, you just see the person. But to see that, to see that it really reinforced the and the need for that, and understand, like old folks, you sit down, let me see they meet their parents, and that seems kind of cliche or unnecessary. Like you just want to meet their parents, but no. Even when people deal with animals and dogs, they want who am I dealing with? Because I'm saying the interaction of the family. I'm saying because it's subjective for a person to say my daughter or my son, and I mean that bad because the deal is this person is a combination of not only 2 people, you know what I'm saying, but that, Malcolm X, who, you know what I'm saying, whose birthday coming up this Friday, y'all, May 19th, we're gonna have a listening. Come on to the Hampton House. I think at 2:00 we're gonna be out there listening to Malcolm X speeches, a listening party. We're gonna be barbecuing out there, 804 South 17th Avenue, Mayville, Illinois. We're having a Malcolm X listening party. And Malcolm, you know what I'm saying, we are a product of our generations before us. We're a product of our environment growing up. He talked about that, you know what I'm saying, the conditions. And that's important, that we put that in context, and it really to stress the need. Like, we have, Frederick Douglass said it's easier to rear children as opposed to repairing broken adults. You know what I'm saying? It's easier, to rear children. And a lot of times, when we don't have the family, the men, the women inside the household, the community has to suffice. That you go there, but our family, our households have not only been destroyed, but our communities have been destroyed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it wasn't. I think back in my life, it wasn't a difficult task. You know what I'm saying? To come outside and to come into contact with men, to see women. You know, the women who. I don't care if she at the candy store, she's sitting on the porch. I don't care if it was the lady down the street on the, you know what I'm saying, other children, their mother, call them in. But to see men, you know what I'm saying, to just walking through neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, and even to hear war stories about certain, you know what I'm saying, about certain individuals in our community. And so even if you never got to meet them personally, it was the atmosphere, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to with these children are growing up, you know what I'm saying. I mean, I just want to say, listen to the quote unquote music and and aspirations. What you see, let's long we start talking about the images that they see, and and before you know it, you're looking up to it, you're aspiring to be part of it. You know what I'm saying, and it's being reproduced in our communities. You know what I'm saying. So again, we got some men and we got some women. And speaking of the women, y'all, we're gonna be going down to Logan Prison. I think next week, continuing celebrating Mother's Day, delivering goods to the women down there in Logan Prison. Look for the Hampton House, look for the Nicholas Lee Foundation, and look for others to be here down there in Logan. And also shout out to the phenomenal move, Hojo Foods, Nicholas Foundation, Hampton House, Black Panther Party Cubs, and others. That the food giveaway we did at the church on 63rd and Laughing. We working on coming back some more with the other food giveaways. Also, shout out to Mike Africa Jr. Mike Africa Jr., for those who don't know, he is the son of Mike Africa and Debbie Africa, the Move family. A couple of things that stick out in historical note, the Move family was August 1978, when the government did a sweep on the Move family. They had got one of the Philadelphia police that was shot and killed. That many people say, I believe this, that the police themselves shot him, this police. And they gave the Move family these trumped up charges, and they were sentenced to 30 to 100 years. Debbie Africa literally had given birth to Mike Africa Jr. in jail, literally. The guards went back and told the judge, it's rumored that a baby was born inside the jail. They said, no, that can't be true. The child care that she gave him, and some similarities, and there are more than this, but what comes to mind is the case of Tupac, who was, his mother, Finney, was pregnant with him while she was in jail. My mother, was pregnant with me while she was in jail. And you impacted by those, you know what I'm saying, your first sight, you know what I'm saying, your first, I think we should be cautious. I tell people, I think we should be cautious. Like when they say the doctor slap you on the butt, I think we should be cautious. Make sure it's not a white doctor doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because that breaking process can impact a lot of people. Right there, a lot of people have been slapped and never came back. You know what I'm saying? Been punked out by white people. You know what I'm saying? Since then. So you have to be real cautious of things that you do around a child. In particular, because it sticks with you. But Mike Africa Jr. Grew up, how old is he now? I can't recall how old he is now. But he's a kindred spirit of mine. And he just recently, it touched me, so he said something to the effect that he was inspired by the move we did to obtain the Hampton House. And he's been keeping this on the lids for quite some time. And he did a phenomenal move. He did a phenomenal, but he played a key role with 40 years of prison. If those who haven't seen that, you can check it out. But this last move, in which he able to make a down payment, hear me on this, on going and get the keys to the house on Osage Avenue in Philadelphia. This is Mike Africa Jr. They bombed it. They burned it down. And he wasn't born in 1978. Excuse me, 79. I think he was born in 79 because his mother got locked up then. He came back as an adult recently. And the first time he went up in that house since the 83, 84, I had the opportunity to be with him. It was emotional. It was a press conference, and the campaign is, matter of fact, I want everybody hashtag reclaim Osage. And that, it was it was inspiring. We had some therapy together before I left Philadelphia. We talked, we, you know what I'm saying, we fellowshiped, we related, and that was a phenomenal move, y'all. And you can go look on go to his Instagram page, Mike Africa Jr. He needs a lot of help, as we all do. But this campaign to help maintain, some people say, "Oh, I thought you say that. I thought you got the house." No, we say the Hampton House. We still need support, y'all. So you know what I'm saying. So donate $ Cash App Save the Hampton House. Go to SaveTheHamptonHouse.org. Go to the donate button. The Reclaim Osage. I think it's a website. Whatever support you can. So it's an ongoing. It's a protracted struggle. It's a battle, and it's bigger than the building, as we say. Bigger than the building, more significant than structure. That's Mike Africa Jr. May 19th, Mike and MalcolmX, El Haj Malik, El Shabazz. I will be remiss not to mention the 10th year anniversary, I'm going to use that term loosely, of the assassination of his grandson, Malcolm Shabazz, just passed a few days ago. So, we got to acknowledge him. But also, this May 19th is Friday. We're going to have a MalcolmX listening party, y'all. Y'all come on through. At the Hampton House. Yes, indeed. We gonna keep you abreast. We gonna keep you abreast next time we in California. I gotta check back. I gotta check on this. I'm glad you mentioned that, cause I supposed to be speaking at Long Beach. I think so. Let me text and find out what's the status with that right now. Cause let me see the status on that ASAP. Yeah. Let me make sure I add you on Facebook. I'll make sure I add you on Facebook too. Gloria J. Martin. They get my Facebook page is Fred Hampton. I used to be my Facebook. It used to be Chairman Fred. Yeah. Hampton Junior. No. The Facebook page is Fred. It's just Fred Hampton. But they call me Chairman Fred. HAMPTUN. Don't get the gospel singer in no trouble now. Don't get him, Fred. Don't get him in no trouble. Mixing them up with me. I'll make a joke about it. I'll be a place and say, Fred Hammond, the gospel singer. You know what I'm saying? No slight on him. I respect, no disrespect to him. But I say, I hope I'll be getting. I hope you'll get someone gonna perform. I hope I don't give him no trouble. I say, is you Chairman Fred Hampton? I don't give him no trouble. But it's all love. Yeah. But yeah, hit me on Facebook and I look for the friend request. I look for it. I accept you on there also. Yeah. Give us any more remarks. Any more remarks you might have? You know what I'm saying? What we got? Make sure we have your brother online and other family members online next week. Give us some more comments and remarks. And I want you to continue to call in. Yeah. I was just talking with one of my comrades, and we just get some updates from the California prisons. And the brother was updating us on this thing they have where they're baiting these young brothers when they come in to was known as protective custody, but they're calling it sensitivity needs, some other term they're using. And they bringing them in, and then they get there, and then they plan up their complexes, and they're telling them, okay, now you're not a man because you're in this particular area, but they got them to come up here. They got them in there, and the only way you can get up out of there if you have a violent case on stabbing, unless you stab another prisoner. So now you find yourself becoming reactionary on makeup time. And you know what I'm saying, and you're doing some other prisoners. In fact, I commented about it, like even in our community a lot of times, they put a lot of the boys in situations where you emasculated, you know what I'm saying, but that testosterone is in it, and it's a buildup. And you know what I'm saying, you it's kind of similar to what they would say, like the man would go to work and the boss would disrespect him and degrade him all day. And when he come home, he releases it, you know what I'm saying, on the most convenient, person, whether it be the wife or the children. And a lot of these children, I see a lot of these young boys in particular, you know what I'm saying, who, imagine this, who release their rage, you know what I'm saying, soon as, you know what I'm saying, on these video games. This is something I'm gonna do a whole forum on about these video games too, because I'm really just drained with this not coming up. Like even the case of Chicago recently with the case of Andrea Preston, the police officer. But the 3 individuals who got the case, you seen what they described they were doing that morning. What they described, if it wasn't the layout for Grand Theft Auto, I don't know what it was. You know what I'm saying? You look at this video game. It's a diagram for carjacking. You know what I'm saying? We only have I envision. I look forward to that and I'm gonna work on this too. A big movie theater with a big screen and all the grandparents and parents of these children, victims and victimizers. You know what I'm saying? To see how detailed this game is, and you know what I'm saying, to see how the children are programmed for this carjacking. You know what I'm saying? How they're programmed for it. You know, and a mass lawsuit against, you know what I'm saying, these different industries, similar to the way these white parents are suing TikTok and other forms of social media for the damage that's done to, you know what I'm saying, to their children. You know, but really up there and put this, not just for the financial benefit, but to put in the correct political context. What, you know what I'm saying, what's being done, what's being fed to the minds of these youngsters in particular. Again, you see these games, it's mind blowing. It's a show. It's a clip I seen today where two young sisters had a case for beating a guy. They're 20 years old. They supposed to assault and rob this guy. He 22 years old. And you look at their faces, you're like, man, you know, people, man, they have worked a number on us. They are continuing to work a number on us. Yes, yeah. We got. Yeah. And it's a climate where, you know, they send a message to, you know what I'm saying, with the average child, you know what I'm saying, you can't say nothing to the laws, the politics, with, you know, not only the community, no structure, no discipline, you know, it's destabilized. Well, there's a criminal psychologist has said behavior is affected by consequences. Not even feel ashamed for disrespecting your parents. You know what I'm saying? We still come from a deficit paying the price of the crack cocaine that was dropped in our community. Speaking of which, we're gonna do a dialogue about the movie Snowfall too. Did you see that, sister? Snowfall. It's on is it on Hulu or I think it's on Hulu or Netflix. I forget what it's a series. I forget how many episodes it is. But we're gonna be doing these movie reviews. We're gonna talk about, you know what I'm saying, talking about in that series, amongst other things about, you know, the crack epidemic, because the different dynamics about, you know, children, like, you know, you can't, like, see, it's one thing to say we need to discipline our children, but they're strategic. There was like I told you. The comedian Monique and Gabrielle Union, a lot of people position is whoever brings the money in sets the rules. That's a lot of people, but I'm going to go as far as majority of people, black people in particular, subscribe to that. Now you subscribe to that. If you subscribe to it, what comes with it. Now you have a situation who controls the distribution of resources. You have a situation where the children are bringing in more resources, not because they're more talented, not because they work harder. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's strategic. So they get your value system. If you say that, say, okay, now they determine if there's going to be more women. Now you can say, well, more women are on business owners, not because they work on a plantation. You just can't say a person has more cornmeal or more shoes than the other slaves, in a sense, and negate the fact that who controls the distribution of that, not who picks the most cotton. Who has the power to distinguish you? Like you're gonna say, man, such that buck, he got 4 witches pregnant on a plantation. He must get a more stronger game. He must dress better than the other bucks. No, the plantation owner controls who's going to bed who's going to give. You know what I'm saying? It's a plantation. Then you look at situation. Movie called another movie called Goodbye Farewell Uncle Tom or Goodbye Uncle Tom. Check that out too if you get the opportunity. Now when you watch this, don't go outside for about a week. It's on YouTube. Goodbye Uncle Tom or Farewell Uncle Tom. Now with that, a cautionary note: do not, man, take you sit inside for a day or two. This is one of the most. This movie is one of the most graphic depictions of chattel slavery. In fact, Roots was one of the incentives for Roots to be created was to do damage control for what this movie did. They describe Roots as like the Jeffersons. You know what I'm saying? This movie here, when they showed this movie in the States in the movie theaters, they took it out the next day. There were uprisings throughout the country. It shows you how when she would bear children, the slave master would come in and give her extra meal or or a coin. To make to make her more And the deal is, you have to look. I don't know how to go in the psychic of this situation, but this is not too far fetched. You know what you're dealing with. And back to my point about the incentive, see, once your value system, what you view, and people will tell you, like I say, even the movie Snowfall, without giving you too much. Most people had an issue with the ending of it because they believe and they aspire to be capitalists. The main character was clearly an aspiring capitalist, and most black people, particularly, they really want to believe this. Most people have an issue with this system when it hits them personally. Most people, but I'm not giving you too much on the movie, but it's a hell of a series. It's a hell of a political series, And it's I had struggles with my mother because she said, "Oh, this is powerful." She said, "I would have named this movie Capitalism." I said, "No, and nobody would have watched it either." Because the deal is debate. You feel what I'm saying? Like the movie Judas. Now, please tell me you saw Judas and the Black Messiah. Judas and the Black Messiah. You never saw that? Now, I'm doing an exception to the rule with you this time. I shouldn't do this now. I usually don't have a conversation with a person who haven't seen that movie yet. You got to go watch Judas and the Black Messiah. Now, Judas and the Black Messiah. It's on Hulu last week. Judas and the Black Messiah. That's about now. William O'Neill, the agent Barcator, he's put forward as a narrator. A lot of people say, "Man, I don't like the fact that he's a narrator." The reality is, nobody can touch it if it was Chairman Fred directly. You know what I'm saying? You got to put that peel in the applesauce. Yes, Judas and Black Messiah. Now, back to this analogy I was giving. Now, the children. Now, like people, again, mind you, people subscribe to whoever has the money. They tell you this. That's who makes the rules. And people say, well, we should talk to these children. Now, that is a more prevalent, that position is out there. So you have the plantation owner who calls the shots on the plantation. There's a case right now, I didn't want to mention, He owns it. He owns it. He owns it. Who, you know what I'm saying? He owns it. And add to that, not only does he own it, this plantation in particular, he's able to give the impression that you run it, that the buck is making decisions on who goes to bed. You know what I'm saying? America's democracy is an hypocrisy. It's a facade of freedom. that you think that we decide to sell coke, crack. You know what I'm saying? We, you know what I'm saying, basketball, but it's a facade of free. So anything more, that's more detrimental. You know what I'm saying? Actually knowing it's a plantation, calling it a plantation. They know these young boys without access to who all the money, bundles of money. They know that it's training certain dogs. Certain dogs you can leave the gate open. You talking about Pavlov's dog? They can have all the they're not passing that they're not going past that gate. They, you know what I'm saying, regardless of all the resources they have. So I'm saying they know it. They have no issue with a lot of these youngsters. You know what I'm saying, with all the weaponry they have. Once you got the mind of them, they can have all the money they want because you got them. It's a case. It's a situation now. It's a situation now of a young guy, a young child. They call him King. No, they call him Lil King. Google him when you get a chance. This child got to be 8, 9 years old. Lil King on YouTube. And you look at the research. He's bought a $90,000 watch. You hear me? He's on stage, man. It's grown people. I'm clapping for the stuff that he's saying. He's on the phone. He's talking about sisters, these adult sisters. Damn, I call you when grown folks talking. You weren't even in the room. He's talking about just features of these grown women. He's talking about black women. I'm talking about like this is an 8, 9-year-old child. He got more money on his wrist than I don't, man. The bank, bundles. What can the average black man say to him? Well, mind you now, we're talking about now. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the average black man, and to a mindset of people who tell you out their mouth, whoever holds the purse calls the shots. This is not uncommon. And then the state gaslights them. You know what I'm saying? They let them run amok. You know what I'm saying? You start feeling yourself. And then you isolate yourself. And it's similar to this they do in our communities. They make you believe that it's all about you. It's like it's like the pimp. When the pimp grabs the girl from the Greyhound bus station, his first moves is not to beat her, gaslight her, isolate her from her family, from a support base. When she calls home, I don't need you, Dad. I got my own. I got a new daddy. I don't need you. I don't need you. Detached. Once you isolate it, there's a different music being played. But really the same music, just change the beat. You know what I'm saying? It's like America uses, we say, the carrot or the big stick. Controlling you. The carrot or the big stick. How you want to do this here? You know what I'm saying? Man, how you want to do this? You want some slow music or you don't music at all? The same results gonna be it. What you want? You want Bill Clinton? You want Donald Trump? How you want to do this here? Your quote unquote choice. 6 or a half a dozen. How you gonna do this here? Then there are those who say, listen, I'm not up with none of that. Well, you check, that's the homework assignments you need people to check out. I gave you some stuff to check out. Check it out, you know what I'm saying? And also, don't forget them call-ins to Governor Pritzker's office, y'all. We live and direct on Freedom All Radio, Spirit of Making History, Taking History. We talking about long live the legacy of Malcolm X, El Haj Malik, El Shabazz. May 19th, this Friday, y'all. Gonna be at the Hampton House, 804 South 17th Avenue. We're gonna start having the weekly food programs going on. You know, so we're going to the South Side, West Side, East Side, North Side. Switching up locations every weekend, y'all. Real talk. Next week, y'all thoughts on the recent inauguration of former mayor-elect, former candidate, mayor-elect now, Mayor Brandon Johnson. Your thoughts on that? Call in next week about that. Man, it was a universal booing when they mentioned Raymond Lopez, the alderman from 15th Ward. I'm talking about people from you heard people booing from different languages. And you know what I'm saying? This man, I'm talking about people was born. I mean, they after the event they was walking out still talking about born for Raymond Lopez. This criminal is. I mean, that's one thing. Whatever there are differences in the community, but you go through our city, Chicago. I don't mean black, Mexicano, English, Spanish. As soon as you mention Ray Lopez, 15 Ward, they born all over. You know what I'm saying? And you go look at his background, you have no question. So y'all calling this stuff, what y'all let y'all thoughts about the speech, the presentation, you know what I'm saying? Talking about, I see somebody on Instagram asked me earlier about the meeting at South Shore. There's some situations going on now about the housing. South Shore High School, they're talking about, you know what I'm saying, bring Spanish-speaking, majority Spanish-speaking people to be housed in South Shore High School. There's some contention, you know what I'm saying, the black and brown respective communities. Your thoughts on that? We're going to come in there, we're going to speak about that. What's your thoughts about that next week? We got about 15 minutes. If you want to call in your comments to kick it up now, we can touch on it now if you feel. We have a little more time than I thought. So feel free to call in and me your thoughts on that, y'all. We are live and direct with Sister Gloria Montague, the sister Ramon Montague. We talking about not only the case of Ramon Montague, we talking about the case of black men, black boys. We talking about the case of black people. We talking about what's going on in Chicago, California, and where have you, y'all. But again, we need y'all to do some of the marching orders by calling Governor Prisco's office tonight, doing the road in the voicemail, calling tomorrow. Ramon Montague, N-62212. You know, since he was the status of that Clemson hearing. Don't forget the case of Tyrone Pettis. They're going to tie Kia Pettis, Kiapetties on Facebook to get up there. You know what I'm saying? Tyrone Pettis' prison number and the status of that case. We live and direct, y'all. Any callers and queues, Sister Comrade? Fred Monster, Comrade. Yes, indeed. I'm going to touch on this again. I like to be redundant, y'all. We had some technical difficulties in the beginning, you know what I'm saying? And we had some people who, either the state directly or people who didn't know, you know what I'm saying? Chairman Fred would say sometimes, half these motherfuckers crazy with them agents. By the time I figure out which one it is, I've been a penitentiary to the graveyard. So they was doing a little stuff. This is the movement that came to. We are working to the day. We got, and with a donation you can. You know, so we deal with criticism. That Black Chairman Fred said, don't bring the Black Panther Party no bullshit. Bring us some criticism. And we, you know what I'm saying, we are in need of resource. We trying to get a studio set up at the Hampton House. We're going to give you a portable studio we can carry around a suitcase. Cause we stop dropping and rolling. You know, Sister Comrade Daphne's on the boards right now. You know, man, you go back and listen to some of the archives. That's Sister Comrade on a CTA. That's the same CTA y'all be hearing about in the red line. People getting shot at, killed, stuck up, fighting. All the same CTA. She will be in the middle of the dead winter working the boards from a phone on the CTA. These, you know what I'm saying? I definitely feel about you. They might get a call. People might get a call right then. Man, we at chairman of the airport. Need you to run the boards. You have to run the show. This is the type of dynamic and type of organizer we have to do on a political pivot. We play what they call alley ball. We're not on the great basketball stadium, the gloss floors, the referee, Gatorade, come in. We are on a pivot. And what that means is we out there in the field, and I went to my Facebook, pop back in because it's kind of going in and out on me. Wi-Fi is tripping as much as I can. We are playing from a political pivot. You know what I'm saying? And I they don't have no, they be like, well, I know my such as my church does, my organizer, our basketball rims may be a bike rim, you know what I'm saying? Or milk crate, you know what I'm saying? And we don't get the fouls that get played on us. We don't them calls don't get called all the time, but we gonna keep on moving. Keep on moving. Yes, indeed. Live and direct. We have no calls in queue, but give us, we down to the last few minutes. Give us any closing comments. My sister, make sure you check in with us again next Wednesday. I'll tap in with us too. Same time, same station, but don't forget the marching orders. Then we're going to take it on out. Man, y'all listen, man, MalcolmX speeches, man. El Haj Malik El Shabazz. We're going to listen to some more this Friday. It's May 19th. You know, I got sentenced to 18 years in Cook County courts. by Judge Michael P. Tooman, fourth floor, on May 19th. May 9th, Malcolm X's birthday. I remember him. I remember him saying that. I remember him saying the sentencing date would be May 19th. I said, man, they sound familiar, shit. I said, boy, if they don't forget. Strategic hit on Malcolm X's birthday, so we can't forget y'all. So, the Glory, any closing comments? You have any closing comments before we leave out? Before we tap. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Right on. Right on. That yes. I look forward to meeting you face. I look forward to meeting you face to face. Love and respect, man. Your brother, rest of those I love. We gonna keep putting the word out. We on our calls tonight and tomorrow. Again, y'all. Gloria Montague, the sister Ramon Montague, prison number N-62212, Joliet, Illinois. The zip code. So we also want to make sure we had a one person, one contact writing him. But he done did the degrees, like 39 years, close to 40 years. That's I know it's difficult, but put that in context, y'all. You know, and they know. Let's wait till Black History Month before we start talking about this. Or you know what? Let's wait till the next election. You think you hear about people getting murdered and dying on these streets? There are so many people in those camps behind those walls that are just coming up dead that you don't have no knowledge of. Believe me, we cannot afford the luxury to keep on. See, this ain't Annie. This ain't Broadway. We ain't singing tomorrow. I love you. We addressing this ASAP. What you get the radio station put together, Chairman? What you get the Hampton House renovated like you want to? What you get this and that? You'll say wait till Capricorn season's in. Wait till the full moon. That's when people feel better. You know what I'm saying? Wait till the weather break. Wait till the next election. Wait till Obama's second term. That's what you really got to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? In the meantime, between time, man, we've been wiped out. We've been wiped out. We gotta move fast, gotta move organized. Chairman Fred would say, y'all, man, long legacy Malcolm X, man. Shout out again to Mike Africa Jr., the Move family, man. Again, y'all, free Tyrone Pettis, free Ramon Montague, free Mumia Abu Jamal. Free your cousin, the sister down the street. In fact, what's I call free them all. So come right, give us something to take this up. And also, we down here live. I'm gonna give y'all some pictures from this phenomenal event with the indigenous community, the Wapano tribe in particular, and the histories which I've learned engage with the indigenous community. You know what I'm saying? Is intensifying. The Rainbow Coalition still continues, y'all. Live and direct, what's it called? Free them all. Comrade, take us on out. It's the MalcolmX speeches. Yeah. Yes. Right on, sister. 2 o'clock. We listen to I don't have speakerphone here, but this Malcolm X speeches, y'all, again, at the Hampton House, outside. We're going to be listening party, the Malcolm speeches. I understand. 2 p.m. 2 p.m. The little wiggle room, say 2:30 though. Yeah. Oh, the weather's good in Chicago Friday. So some people, they hate this. They got us so messed up. Sometimes it's like a double conundrum. Use a conundrum. You want the weather to be good, but a lot of times people say they know the back of your mind what comes with that also. Bring whatever y'all can, cases of water. I think I know fish will be main, but I'm good at grilling that as a fish. People bring cases of water, paper plates, napkins, so on and so forth. Had a fish on deck. Right on. Whatever support y'all can, put the word out, y'all. Repost this show. The flyers be ready by tomorrow. I'm listening to Malcolm right now. I can't wait till this Friday, y'all. Man, hey, he's relevant then, he's relevant now, man. Ain't no expiration date on forces such as Malcolm X. I mean, you can lay this out right now today. Huh. Ooh, Malcolm wasn't no joke. Make it plain, as he would say. Right up. Let me get up this. This concludes water until this is a still applicable. Same time, same station, y'all. Next Wednesday. It's called Free 'em All. Long live Malcolm X. El Malik El Shabazz. Right on. Right on, right on. Yeah, I gotta get this tighten up on the social media. Yeah, okay, yeah, good. Let's get these more subscribers. Yeah. Make sure y'all like, Chairman, and subscribe to Chairman Fred JR on YouTube. Chairman Fred JR on YouTube. Chairman Fred Jr. on YouTube. Right on.